You reach for your phone in the morning. You flip a light switch. You turn on the stove. Fire is everywhere in your life, just hidden behind plastic and glass. But what if your ancestors never figured it out? Not just what if you lost it tomorrow. What if no human, ever, had learned to make fire at all? Your body would look different. Your brain would be smaller. In the world you know wouldn't exist. Fire isn't just a tool. It's the reason you're you. Around 1.5 million years ago, something changed. Archaeologist Richard Wrangham calls it the cooking hypothesis. Early humans began controlling fire, and they started cooking their food. And that single shift rewired everything. Raw meat is hard to chew. Raw plants are even worse. Your jaw has to work for hours just to break down enough calories to survive. Gorillas spend nearly half their day chewing. Chimpanzees do the same. But you don't. Cooking does the work for you. Heat breaks down proteins. It softens fibers. It makes nutrients easier to absorb. Suddenly, your ancestors didn't need massive jaws anymore. They didn't need thick teeth or giant chewing muscles anchored to the top of their skulls. So those features started shrinking. And when your jaw got smaller, your skull changed shape. There was more room now. Room for something else to grow. Your brain. A human brain uses about 20% of your total energy, even though it's only 2% of your body weight. That's expensive. You can only afford to run a brain that large if you're getting serious calories. And without fire, you're not. Primatologist Napoleon Chagnon studied the Yanomami people in the Amazon. He noted that even with fire, they spent hours preparing and eating food. Without it, you'd spend your entire day chewing just to stay alive. You wouldn't have time to think. You wouldn't have time to create. You'd just chew, sleep, and survive. But let's say your body adapted. Let's say humans kept their thick jaws and smaller brains, and they survived anyway. What happens next? You don't build cities. You probably don't even build shelters. Fire doesn't just cook food. It keeps you warm. It keeps predators away. It lets you live in places you were never supposed to survive. Anthropologist John McCabe studied how fire allowed early humans to migrate out of Africa. Without it, they would have frozen in Europe. They would have been eaten at night in the savannah. Fire made the dark safe. Your ancestors sat around fires. They told stories. They made plans. They formed bonds. Firelight extended the day. It gave humans extra hours to be social, to cooperate, to teach the next generation. Psychologist Polly Wiesner studied the Juhonsi people of the Kalahari Desert. During the day, their conversations were practical. But at night, around the fire, they told stories. They shared myths. They laughed. That's where culture comes from. That's where language gets complex. You can't build civilization in the daylight alone. Without fire, you don't get metallurgy. You don't smelt iron or forge bronze. You stay in the Stone Age forever. No wheels, because you can't shape metal axles. No machines, because you can't refine materials. You don't get chemistry. You don't get glass. You don't understand combustion, so you never unlock engines or electricity. The Industrial Revolution never happens. You're still in the forest, still chewing. But here's the strangest part. Fire didn't just change what humans could do. It changed what humans wanted to do. Anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss argued that cooking is what separates culture from nature. The raw versus the cooked. The wild versus the civilized. When you cook food, you transform it. You take something natural and make it unnatural. That's the first act of creation. That's the first time a human looked at the world and said, I can change this. And once you start changing one thing, you don't stop. You start shaping stone more carefully. You start painting on cave walls. You start asking questions. Why does the sun rise? Where do we go when we die? What else can we control? Fire is the beginning of every answer. Without fire, you don't wonder. You don't experiment. You don't become the species that sends robots to Mars or builds towers a kilometer high. You stay small. You stay simple. You stay stuck. But you did discover fire. Your ancestors did figure it out. And everything you assume is normal, everything you take for granted, every thought you've ever had, exists because someone, 1,000,000 years ago, looked at a spark and didn't let it die. So tonight, when the sun goes down, and you flip that switch, and light floods the room, remember what you're really doing. You're reaching for a fire your ancestors never let go out.
If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel.